Well. Hello, everybody. I am attorney Michael Eline. The last couple of shows I've done have been, sort of fun. We've been doing some cop prank videos, but this morning when I got up, I was watching some videos and it was a little disconcerting. I saw a video about a guy who appears uh, be to have been harassed quite a bit by local law enforcement. And he's one of these guys. He looks like he lives out in the boondocks. And I wanted to, get into it because it didn't pass the smell test, kind of gave me that adrenaline taste in my throat. I don't like it when people get harassed. I don't care if you're a trailer park person or you're a multi-billionaire. We all have the same unalienable rights before our creator. And when government employees and the administrative state go after people, it rubs me the wrong way. And so I wanted to cover this story tonight with you all. And let me just look in the sidebar, see if anyone's showing up. Hey, Jody, good seeing you. What's going on, our guy 936? So I'm dragging today, guys. I just got done. I did a deposition today, and I just finished doing about a 5-hour post-deposition report. So, normally when I do a deposition, I do a report on what happened at the deposition, the same way that the police would do after they've arrested someone. But mine are a lot more significant. I mean, they have a lot more information in them that most of the time the police will use like a Dunning prior report, and they'll just sort of, and a lot of times they leave stuff in there that they're not supposed to from another accident or whatever. Because typically in my business, because now I'm not doing a whole lot of criminal defense. I do catastrophic car accidents, motorcycle accidents. So I always find that they leave stuff from another accident in the report, which is totally retarded. But anyways, good seeing you, Brandy. Right on. I got all the girls in here tonight. That motivates me. Wow. Yeah, because when I first started, it was only guys. And, I prefer the ladies always, because you're the givers of life and you give my channel that positive energy that I want to have. So help pick me up tonight, guys. I am dragging, and I just finished the report and I just went live. I mean, I literally had like 5 minutes to create a thumbnail and create a title and do a little description and get it up on YouTube. But I'm here for you because this person, anyways, the video that I'm going to cover, you'll understand it. So for everybody who doesn't know who I am a lawyer licensed in Texas and California. I got my start doing appellate work in criminal. Actually, I worked for the prosecutor's office, the LA city attorney. And I also externed for the California Court of Appeal for Justice Gary Hastings. He was also one of my mentors. And then I was mentored by some of the most experienced and best, most honorable personal injury attorneys, if there's a such thing as honorable, right, for PI, in the whole state of California. Guys who have made billions of dollars in verdicts and settlements. And I'm a guy who has no undergrad and barely made it out of high school and joined the Marine Corps and got injured in the Marine Corps. I wanted to be a lifer. I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to be a gung-ho Marine, but I wanted to stay in. My dad was a combat vet in Vietnam, did 2 tours, and then he got out and built Denny's restaurants. I don't want to get too much into it, but so my goal was to stay in, got injured, and so my life took a different trajectory, got beat up by a West Covina cop over a parking ticket, and that is what basically set me up to want to become a lawyer. And I found a way to become a lawyer on the California State Bar Law Office Study Program. And one thing led to another. A friend of mine, Chili DeCastro over at Elite Laws, got locked up, and I helped him run his YouTube channel along with Brian over at Here's the Deal while he was locked up. And that sort of motivated me to keep doing these shows because people were calling me and emailing me and asking me to stay live and keep staying on YouTube. So now it's sort of become a passion of mine to go back like full circle, the days of future past, or, for you old people who know what that means, and sort of came back full circle with who I am, which is a rebel. And yeah, I did PI law because the only people who would hire me to work for free for them, by the way, hire for free, right, to clerk under them to become a lawyer, the same way that Kardashian's doing it. But actually, I didn't have her resources. I had to do this all on my own, but we're those kind of guys, PI lawyers. So I got really good at it, and that's why I stayed with PI law. But because of what happened to Chile, it brought me back in to doing more of the criminal defense type stuff, civil rights law. And of course, I am always, and I have always been and always will be, a Second Amendment rights attorney. And I work with Alan Beck. He's, as far as I'm concerned, the preeminent Second Amendment rights lawyer in the country. And he's opened up Hawaii to the knife laws and concealed carry in Hawaii as well as California. And he's one of the best. And he's also a Marine. There's always a theme with us Marines. We're all about the Constitution and holding the government accountable. So I'm going to do a news flash for you tonight. I spoke with Chile de Castro tonight over at Delete Laws, and he's officially announced that he's no longer wanting to be identified as a cop watcher or a cop auditor. He is officially a government accountability operator. That's what he does. Chile is now officially christened himself as a government accountability operator. That's what Chile's doing. He is all about holding the government accountable, and that's what I'm all about too. So proud of him for taking that step. Him and I are both really irritated about the infighting between these so-called auditors and cop watchers, all fighting over likes and views instead of keeping their eye on the prize, which is holding the government accountable. That's what this is all about. And like my dad said, if you do a good job, the money will follow, as they say. In this case, the likes and views will follow. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really make any money on this channel. We'll work for food, so to speak. I love it when I get super chats and super stickers and when people buy my book, because it shows me that I'm appreciated. And it also keeps my wife off my ASS, because she sees that it's not a waste of time. Because, for a wife, they're expecting you, like she'd rather me be taking my son to judo class right now. So when she sees that you guys are supporting my channel, buying memberships and getting involved in the community, she makes her like, wow, well, my husband's, doing a good job, and she gets motivated. So I appreciate it when you support me, because it keeps her off my ass, and I need her because she's the one who makes sure that the house is squared away and that the kids are taken care of, so I can do this kind of stuff. So it's a family affair, so to speak. So I appreciate everybody supporting me and my family, so my son can become a judoka like his dad. And so Brandy Swaney, thank you so much. And Stu Katz, Stu, I have never defended fraud cases. Stu Katz asked me, have you ever defended a fraud case? I've not defended fraud cases. I am a plaintiff's attorney in the civil side. And for a short stint, I opposed all the 1538.5 motions at the LA City Attorney while I was studying to become a lawyer. So I got my start, learning how to do criminal law there, learned about Izazaga and all the different types of Supreme Court case precedent that helped me become a better criminal defense lawyer. So that experience really, really helped me learn about the inner workings of the prosecutor's office and how to defend people against government overreach and become better at government accountability operations, which is what me and Chile de Castro do. We do government accountability operations. Give me a GAO in the sidebar, and next time you go on Delete Laws, start typing in GAO. He'll know what it means. But I broke it tonight. Chile de Castro is officially not going to allow himself to be called an auditor or a cop watcher. He is now officially a government accountability operator, which I consider myself to always have been. I'm about holding the government accountable. So let me see. Monica Warren, Stomper. Hey, yeah. What's up? What's up? And practitioner's another one. Government accountability practitioner, GAP. That's kind of a cool acronym. But let me go ahead. And by the way, I'm sorry, for the last couple nights I've been starting late, but I got a family to feed, guys, and you guys aren't buying my books, and you're not giving me enough super chats and super stickers to make it possible for me to quit my day job. But, any love you can give me, I appreciate. Just keep on liking and subscribing and double tapping. Do whatever you can to support Team MPE. And, of course, the guys who buy the memberships, those are really important, too, because that brings people into the fold. And I'm always looking for volunteers, too, people who can help me with my website, anybody who does WordPress, people who can help me get backlinks to build my law firm site, which helps me fund all this. Because I'm using my own time and my own energy and my 20 years plus experience as a lawyer, and prior to that as a law clerk and a paralegal, to share with you my insights and knowledge to help you become better at understanding the law and meaning to keep it well. I am a natural law advocate, so I'm all about John Locke. I'm an anti-federalist. Sometimes you'll see me sharing videos about from the 10th Amendment Center, and I'm always trying to teach you guys about the Bill of Rights, our unalienable rights that come from our Creator, not from government, and trying to teach you guys how to reclaim and retain your rights that the administrative state is constantly trying to steal from you. The Marxist-run administrative state, the Marxist-run public school and college system, which is basically the enemy of the American people, along with the legacy news media. Legacy news media is the enemy of the American people, and I am the anti-enemy. I am here to help you reclaim your rights and learn about where your rights come from, because most people are taught the exact opposite. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here. What's up, GAO? Just Willie. Good seeing you, man. So what I'm going to do is just kick off the show really quick, and then we'll get into it. All right, guys?
To another edition of Ask Michael Eline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel.
That's right. And the thought police have already tried to take down my channel. Anytime I try to talk about big pharma and all that stuff, they immediately accuse me of medical misinformation and all that stuff. So, you know, you got to be careful, guys, on YouTube, because we know who they serve, and it's clearly not the people at the Constitution, right? And by the way, guys, I'm less concerned about the Constitution and more concerned about natural law, because we have fundamental, unalienable rights that are granted by our Creator, not the government. And the Bill of Rights and the Constitution has enabled academia to come along and form all this nonsense to try and say that our rights come from government, which is a really, really bad thing. What separates America from all other countries is that we recognized in the foundation of our founding, our foundational founding, our cornerstone was natural law, that our rights come from God, from a Creator, not from the state, not from the king, and that all men and women are sovereign, that we are sovereign, just like how the king was considered to be appointed by God. Well, God appointed us to rule over ourselves, and that's what makes America such a beautiful place. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree with me. And if you don't, stick around and I'll teach you some more about what I think. And again, I don't want mindless drones here, guys. I want you to learn what I know and think for yourself. I don't believe that there is any, or nor should there be any agreement on all things. I think when everybody agrees on everything, that's stupid. I think we all need to be free thinkers. We all need to love one another and be courteous, considerate, and kind to other people. But we always need to hold the government accountable, because they are public servants and they are there to protect and defend, not to rule over us. That's another thing that makes America such a beautiful place. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about different types of warrants, okay? And so there seems to be a misunderstanding among many people about different types of warrants. There is, of course, we know there are bench warrants, and a lot of people believe that the police can't use a bench warrant to arrest you at your home. But unfortunately, that's not true. I mean, the police can use a bench warrant to arrest you at your home. That's one of the reasons why I say never answer your door, right? Because they're going to have to get a search warrant if you don't answer your door. But if you answer your door, well, now they see you. There's an exigent circumstance, perhaps, where they could use that as the ability to place you into custody. But typically, the authority to arrest, once a bench warrant is issued, the police have the authority to arrest you anywhere, including your home. But in order to have entry into the home, typically it's kind of like Count Dracula, like I said, right? Blah, 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 that you have to give the vampire permission to enter your home. So either they're going to need your permission, exigent circumstances, like they think you're destroying evidence, which they could just lie about and say they thought that, right? But then you could do a 1538.5 motion, or in California anyways, a motion to suppress and say it was fruit of the poisonous tree, that it was an illegal entry. So, you got to think about that. And then, sometimes they'll have a search warrant as well. So that's another way they could do it. Typically, if the police come to your house with a bench warrant, They might knock or announce their presence to give you an opportunity to open the door. If they reasonably believe you're inside and you refuse entry, they might wait for you to come out or return with a warrant. If they believe there's a need to enter your house without your consent, they may try to do that. But again, the less consent, the more possibilities you have to get that thrown out. Okay, just so you guys understand. Hopefully you guys will like the show tonight. Hey, good seeing you, Life Under the Microscope. A little less comedy, a little more seriousness tonight, guys. Now, typically the time of the day they can arrest you, it can vary by jurisdiction. So your legislature may have different rules. And again, I'm only licensed in California and Texas, and I try not to do criminal defense because I have to spend all my days in court. And with my personal injury practice, it's primarily law in motion, a lot of litigation. But if you guys need help finding a lawyer in your state or your jurisdiction, I'll try to help you find someone. Okay, how's that? How about that? I'll still try to help you. I can't promise you, but I'll do my best because I care about people. Now, typically public interactions, if they don't immediately come to your house, you might encounter the police in public, like during a traffic stop. And of course, then they would have the right to run you like through CLETS, for example, and make that arrest. If they discover you have a warrant, and they can arrest you on the spot. You guys understand so far? Give me a bunch of ones that you understand so far. And if you have questions, throw them in the sidebar. I look over every once in a while and try to answer them. Obviously, super chats go to the front of the line, guys, because that's a great way to support my channel to make me come back more. Yay! All right. So given these points, if you have a bench warrant, if you're a cop, if you have a bench warrant out for you and you know about it, it's best to try to address it promptly. I mean, one way would be to turn yourself in, which I would never do. I would advise you to have a lawyer or try to find a way. Typically, you cannot fight a case without bringing yourself before the court. You would be deemed a fugitive from justice, and it would be called the fugitive disentitlement doctrine. You understand? Google that sometime. You cannot like the child molester guy who lives in Switzerland. You cannot fight a case from a foreign jurisdiction against you. You're considered to be a fugitive and you're disentitled from the protections of the court. So that's called the fugitive disentitlement doctrine. You have to bring yourself before the court in order to fight charges. That's just the way it is, guys. Sorry, can't help you, but that's from ancient common law. It's not a new thing. All right. Now, does a bench warrant need an affidavit? Well, the requirement for an affidavit to issue a bench warrant can vary significantly depending on the jurisdiction that you're in and the circumstances under which a bench warrant is being issued. So let me give you some general insights. All right. So the purpose of a bench warrant is usually it's issued by a judge when someone fails to appear in court. Okay. So there's got to be a valid reason to issue it. Typically, it's you failed to appear, you made a promise, you signed that stupid notice to appear or a summons, right? And you failed to appear. Or if you failed to comply with a court order, like you promised the judge you'd do something and you didn't do it. Well, from the bench, the judge can issue a warrant, a la bench warrant, because the judge is sitting on the bench and he issues a warrant. So it's called a bench warrant. Got it so far? Got it? Okay. Now, typically, it's not a new criminal proceeding. Okay, guys. So this is something else you guys need to understand. I want you guys to be educated so you don't look dumb to the police. Typically, you're not going to need probable cause for a bench warrant because there was already probable cause before the bench warrant was issued, right? If you're wanted for a crime and you agreed to appear, there was probable cause or at least reasonable articulable suspicion, at least under the law, that there was already probable cause. And that was the basis for issuing the bench warrant. If you have questions about that, throw it in the sidebar. If you want to argue with me and say I'm wrong, do it, and I'll take on the challenge, guys. But typically there already was probable cause because there was a prior crime or a prior promise where you submitted to the jurisdiction of the court, and that would be enough to issue that bench warrant. Hopefully you understand so far. Now, typically it's going to be based on failure to comply. And because of that, there's not always a need to have an affidavit attached or even an affidavit needed to issue that bench warrant because there's already a prior commitment or promise by you or failure to do or not do something that would force you to come before the court. Give me a bunch of ones if you understand so far. And then Tarnished Vikings talking about talking about bounty hunters. That's a different deal. That's totally different. We're going to get into that too. Now, direct judicial action. Judges often issue bench warrants sua sponte. Now, sua sponte just means on their own accord. Okay. It's not like, it's just, we get paid for understanding some Latin. That's what makes us lawyers so special. That's why we get paid the big bucks, right? But sua sponte just means on the judge's own motion. And I've actually convinced judges to do things sua sponte in the past, which is really a big deal to get a judge. I've gotten judges to reverse themselves sua sponte, which is unheard of. And I've gotten them to do it a few times. One of them, I got Judge Warner to reverse himself sua sponte on a discovery order. And that Judge Warner in San Bernardino, I don't know if he's still sitting on the bench, but I thought he was a really good judge. And this was a personal injury case, a bus accident where there were some wrongful deaths and some catastrophic injuries. And it was a really good judge. And we had a really shifty, shady defense attorney, and I was one of the plaintiffs. And that was one of the highlights of my life. So some of the things that turned me on, you'll probably never get. You'll probably never understand unless you've been a practicing lawyer and really understand the chess game that can be litigation. But anyways, documentation. Typically, an affidavit detailing an investigation or crime might not be necessary. We discussed that. But some form of documentation or record is still going to probably be needed in order to issue that bench warrant. Now, court records, there might be a record or a note in the court file indicating why the warrant was issued, like a notation of the missed court date or violation of court conditions. All right. And a prosecutor can also request that a judge issue a bench warrant for like failure to appear or something like that. And of course, it will vary based on the jurisdiction or legal precedent or precedent, depending on how you want to go with that. Hey, Josephine, man, I'm getting a lot of the ladies in here tonight. Woohoo! Love the girls. Thanks for showing up tonight, guys and girls. Now, can a bench warrant be issued or used to break into a home? Well, typically a bench warrant is going to be issued by a judge to enforce a court appearance or compliance with court orders. But again, it doesn't inherently authorize a breaking or entering or search of property. So typically, if a cop comes to your property, that's why it's a good idea not to come to the door or show any indication that you're in the home, because they're going to have to, unless there's an exigent circumstance, like they were chasing you to your house, you ran in and closed the door, they're going to need to get a search warrant, guys. So just think about that. Typically, they're going to try and knock and announce. Again, exigent circumstance or a search warrant is going to be required. There's going to be jurisdictional variations. And of course, like I said, if there's hot pursuit, that all goes out the window. So there's also many different types of warrants besides bench warrants. And I found this pretty cool video from a fellow attorney. I have no idea who this guy is, but I thought it was a pretty good video. It's only like 4 minutes. I'm going to play this for you guys so you can sort of see what he's got to say. And I'll give him some credit. I'll drop his link as well in the sidebar. But let's check it out, and hopefully you guys will like it.
Hi, I'm Dan Chambers, the founder of Chambers Law Firm. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the different types of warrants that are involved. That phrase gets used a lot. I get a lot of phone calls from a client that they say, I have a warrant. But the bigger question is, what type of warrant is it? The criminal justice system in California can be very confusing, and there's several different kinds of warrants that you should be aware of to determine what type of warrant you have and what is the best way to deal with it. I'm going to go over the most basic types of warrants. There are others out there, but these are the most common that you'll encounter. The first one is what's called a bench warrant. It's called that because the warrant is actually issued from the bench. The judge issues the warrant while he or she is sitting in court. Typically, those are issued when you fail to go to court on something, whether it's a traffic ticket for your speeding, or it's a DUI case, or even a felony case that you should have been in court on. If the defendant fails to appear and can't provide a legal sufficient reason, the judge issues what's called a bench warrant. Now, the effect of that warrant is that once it gets entered into a computerized system, any law enforcement officer that stops you or contacts you and runs a search will find that bench warrant, and most likely you'll find yourself in custody. The second type of warrant is called a search warrant. A search warrant is a very specific kind of warrant. Number one, it has to be in writing. It has to be submitted to a magistrate, a judge, by a police officer, and it has to establish what's called probable cause. That probable cause has to show that a crime has been committed and that the places or persons or things to be searched might uncover that criminal activity.
That's right.
A common example is if a police officer has used a confidential informant to do a drug buy, and that drug purchase leads to a specific house that the drugs are being sold out of. That officer will go to a magistrate with a warrant saying, I had a buy, they walked in and out of this house, and I want a warrant to search that house for drugs. If that judge believes there's probable cause, he or she signs the warrant, and then the officer has 10 days to serve it. If he doesn't, it's stale and it goes away. So there are very specific requirements. But search warrants are a very special type that are always in writing and have to be.
And by the way, bench warrants can go stale too. And I've represented guys that have had like warrants out for 20 years for their arrest, and I've had them dismissed based on being stale. So that's just another thing to think about. Let's keep going.
Supported by probable cause, and specifically, the people and things to be searched have to be described. And finally, we have what's called an arrest warrant. An arrest warrant is typically issued for a person. If there's a case filed against you, let's say for a robbery, but they weren't able to arrest you at the time of the robbery, again, the officer goes to a judge who reads the reports and says, I think there's.
But you understand the difference. With a bench warrant, typically you're already aware of the charges. Got it? With an arrest warrant, you know, there's an APB out on your butt because someone has identified you as a criminal or someone who's got an APB out for them, and the judge is going to issue an arrest warrant. Hopefully you guys understand the nuance. There is a difference, and that really comes into play later, and we'll talk about that in another episode, but let's keep going.
Probable cause to believe this person committed a robbery. They issue what's called an arrest warrant. It works a lot like a bench warrant. It gets entered into a database, and if the police are out actively looking for you, or if they happen to stop you and they run a search, that arrest warrant will show up saying that you're the suspect of a robbery case, and you will most likely be taken into custody on that arrest warrant. So those are the basic types of warrants. I hope I've helped you understand the differences so that you can understand what type you might have to be facing. And I also hope the video was helpful and informative too.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good video, and I see BZ harping in over here on the sidebar. What's going on, BZ? I am too busy to go live, bro. I just finished doing my final report, and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go ahead and create a really quick description. If you would have been here at the beginning, you would have seen what I said. I'm just going to do a really quick description because it's just been burning in my stomach all day about this video that I watched. And I saw a lot of problems this morning when I woke up, this video that I watched, and I saw a lot of problems. It was like San Joaquin Valley Transparency, a video that he had. And I'm going to show it to you guys in a minute, but I wanted to lay a foundation first. And now we're going to watch the video, and then I'll pipe in. I really like San Joaquin Valley, man. I think that those dudes are legit. I've always tried to be nice to them and, you know, try to get an interview, but they never respond. It's crazy. For some reason, people just don't like me. I think a lot of it has to do with, and I'm not saying this is this person in particular. I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of people thinking if you're a member of the bar, that makes you the enemy because of the sovereign citizen movement. And the other thing is because of my support of Chile de Castro. I'm unrepentant when it comes to supporting Chile over at Delete Laws. I happen to think that the guy's a genius. And I think that you have a right to be a jerk to police and speak your mind. And if they don't like it, they have the wrong job. Now, I have a totally different approach than Chile does, but I'm all about individuality and freedom and liberty. And I'm not going to tell you to F off or anything like that if you don't like my choices and people that I support. But for someone who's not a lawyer, I would say that is from a legal historian's point of view, the guy's a genius. And I'm very impressed by him. And I am also a self-educated constitutional law scholar. So I have a lot of respect for the guy. And if you don't like it, I mean, you can go watch someone else. You know, you don't have to follow my channel. But I personally think the dude's legit. And I think that he's done a lot of good. And I think that he's got brass balls. Anybody who's willing to go to jail for what they believe in is exactly the kind of person that I want to have as a friend. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. By the way, BZ, if you're still listening, Chile has officially declared himself to not be a cop watcher or a police auditor today. He has officially declared himself to be a government accountability operations dude. like me, right? Like government accountability operations are what me and Chili are all about, holding the government accountable, making them accountable. We had a conversation earlier today. He's very upset at the division in the auditor and cop watcher community. And so am I. I think it's ridiculous that all this infighting when we all have a mutual cause, which is holding the government accountable. That's the real idea. You guys who go out there to film just because you want to get likes and views, we don't want to be associated with you. We want to help make America a better place. Nobody in their right mind or even in their wrong mind is going to be willing to go to jail for views and likes. Okay. What happened to Chili? I mean, I know from having helped him run his channel when he got locked up, I know how much he was making. I know exactly how much he was making. And by the time he got out, he was almost bankrupt because I could see it with my own eyes. Let's face it, I'm no Chili DeCastro. When I was trying to help him with his channel, and Brian, we're not able to do what that guy can do. He's a very dynamic guy. So give him credit, guys. I mean, almost like Jesus in a way, he was a sacrifice to all of you guys because he showed you that someone who's falsely arrested with a little bit of compassion and passion can get those charges reversed. And he stood up for what he believed in. And so for that, I will always bend over backwards to support him and his channel. And give me a bunch of ones for Chili DeCastro, guys. I mean, and give me a bunch of twos for all those morons who were happy that he got locked up and were praying, like those frauditor scumbags who were praying that he would be locked up, even though there was overwhelming, substantial evidence that he was innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just standing up for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Those people, that's why we're not a democracy, by the way, guys, because the mob rules in a democracy. In a republic, the rights of the individual are what happens. So here's the difference in Ben Franklin's words. So in a democracy, two wolves and a sheep show up for dinner and they get to decide what's on the menu, right? In a republic, not for dinner, for lunch. But now in a republic, two wolves and a well-armed sheep get to show up and the sheep gets to contest the vote. So that's the difference. And it's not an exact quote, I get it wrong sometimes, but it's close enough. In a republic, it's the individual that matters. You can't support minority rights if you don't support individual rights first. And of course, our academic institutions, our public schools, our colleges, and our administrative agencies have basically been taken over, especially since Obama, by radical Marxists who support the concept of democracy or mob rules. That's why they want to get rid of the Electoral College and make it a direct vote of the mob. So the majority now can decide to take away your rights at whim. And our founders never wanted that. They always wanted to make sure that your individual rights would be upheld. Give me a bunch of ones for our founding fathers. Now, what I'm going to do, hey, thanks, Dragonfire News. I do appreciate all you guys showing up for me. It's pretty awesome. I see here now that someone's saying that Chili is live as well as Brian. Well, hey guys, look, if you've got several screens, you can watch us all at the same time. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you need to support me over Chili or any of those guys. They were here first. I came here as an adjunct to try and help support Chili. And now, as a result of that relationship, that's why I'm here. So you're never going to see me bad-mouthing any of these guys or trying to steal their thunder. I'm here to try and help support them. I'm a lawyer and I have a day job, but these guys, that's their career pretty much, is government accountability operations on YouTube. And mine is, a little more nuanced than that. I go to court. I have clients and I am burned out. I am fried, guys. You imagine dealing with, 50 or 60 people a day, all wanting their money, all wanting to know about their case, and you trying to work on briefs and dealing with calls from a judge or the court. It is really a lot of work. So that's why it really motivates me when you guys show up, and I have my friends here in the sidebar, like Life Under the Microscope. And then Wanda McGaboni, that's a new one. Wanda, I don't think I've seen you before, but I'm glad you're here. And let me see what else. What's the matter? You says Ben Franklin quote is not true if enumerated rights are observed. Well, I don't believe in enumerated rights, guys. I believe that we have unalienable rights and we have immeasurable rights, and that the enumerated rights that you see in the Bill of Rights are a snapshot of just a few of the important rights that we have. And so that's another thing that really kind of bothers me about modern day academia is they want to make everything cookie cutter. Look, none of our founding fathers agreed on everything. It was always a compromise. And just like a marriage, it's always going to be a compromise. You can never agree on everything. If you do, it's a totalitarian situation where the husband rules over the wife or the wife rules over the husband. And what a bummer that would be to live in a situation like that, where one person is always the odd man out. It's better that we compromise and we agree on the things that matter most. And so my channel, I have Democrats. I'm a recovering Democrat when the Democrats used to pledge allegiance to the flag and not burn flags, and they had American flags at their rallies. That's the kind of Democrat I was. Now they just have rainbow flags, and I'm just not about that. And then we have Republicans, but I consider myself to be a libertarian, and I just believe in holding the government accountable. That's the number one thing that I'm about. And so the people in my channel, I'm not really here to argue politics, but just to say that they all have differing and varying political views. This isn't like some Trump fest or camel toe fest or whatever you want to call it. This is a festival of freedom. Festival of freedom. Give me a bunch of ones for the Team MPE's Festival of Freedom. So hopefully it looks like we got almost 200 people in here. So let's get into our first video, and then hopefully I'll be able to get into a little bit about why I went live today. And this is the reason, because of this video. So let's get this next video going. So this video is from San Joaquin News Network. So I don't know if this is the same, San Joaquin Cop Watch guy, but everything that comes out of San Joaquin Valley is always good. So this is a good video. This guy here is a copper at someone's front door, and he's shown up with a bench warrant. And apparently this dude that he's showing up at his house has had a lot of problems with this local law enforcement official. And I guess this is the chief. So I'll let these guys do the talking, and I'll cut in when necessary, or if you guys have a comment in the sidebar you want me to deal with. So here we go.
Did the judge go over what the charges were and so forth?
Welcome back to San Joaquin News Network.
Well, there was no probable cause, because if there's, we're all aware of the Fourth Amendment, right? Okay.
We have an important video. This one comes to you from Christopher Reel's channel.
And but I mean, what did the judge tell you when you got to the arraignment? Well, I don't want to discuss that, but if they think if there's probable cause, then get a warrant. Okay. There's order.
And by the way, guys, just so you know, I would never recommend having any kind of interaction with a cop at my front door. All right. I mean, all you're doing is participating in an investigation against yourself, and you're engaging in a contact. And in California, up until the recent Trump justices, thank God we got those justices, by the way, a contact like this would be used as a basis to deny you from getting a concealed carry weapon. So any kind of contact with the police in the communist-run state of California, that would be used as a basis to deny you the ability to get a concealed carry weapon, while at the same time the government's flooding the state with illegal alien criminals that are being released from prisons all over the world, right, and coming into our country, and they would deny you the ability to defend your family. So obviously you never want to have any kind of contact with law enforcement. But let's go ahead and listen to what happened, because he's already engaged in it. And this gives me an opportunity to go down the list of things that I think could have been done differently, or legal issues that I agree or disagree with. So let's get into it.
For all those things.
The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Don't arrest me, and then
So that's what kind of what I'm getting at is, what were you arraigned on that night?
I still have seen no warrant or no probable cause. I don't want to discuss my court matters, because it's still ongoing.
Okay.
And that was dismissed. That was dismissal from that court. And then another trooper came here and said there was a warrant for my arrest.
About a year ago, we shared one of his videos on the main channel. That video went viral. It's almost at 1 million views. The other channel that he had after his arrest, when they took his phone, somehow he was locked out of his channel and was unable to get back in. But folks, the same thing that happened in that other video is happening again. These cops keep coming to his house. This guy does an outstanding job. This is a perfect demonstration of how to stand on your Fourth Amendment rights. I'm going to drop his original channel link in the description and in the pinned comment. Keep watching, folks.
And that was in February of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a picture of him.
And what happened with that one?
He said there's a warrant for we also have a warrant for your arrest, he said. And he was here with 2 sheriff deputies. Okay. So I found that odd that they came together.
We worked together, but that's...
So you see the problem, guys? Like this guy's interrogating him, and the potential arrestee is admitting and confessing things that could be used as evidence against him later, or simply be used to classify or characterize him in a bad light or a false light. So again, you've got a Fifth Amendment, use it. But in this case, I'm going to use this video as an educational opportunity. And I really want to thank again, San Joaquin. I don't know where you are, brother, but I think that you've got a great channel, and I sure would love to have some discourse with you. I don't understand the deal, why people are so against lawyers or whatever, but you're talking to a guy that was falsely arrested and beat up by a cop, and that's what inspired me to become a lawyer with no law degree or undergrad. So don't hold it against me that, I've been able to get people out of prison, that were falsely imprisoned, that were doing life sentences. So give me a little bit of credit.
Yeah, but he said he had a warrant for my arrest.
Okay.
Where are these warrants? Why am I not notified of a warrant before men with guns are coming to my house to tell me about it?
Okay.
Shouldn't I be notified?
That's up to the court. That's up to the court.
It's up to the court.
Right.
Well,
I don't know how they notify. They send us out copies of warrants and so forth, and then we can go and execute them.
That was a warrantless arrest on July 16th here.
Okay.
And then that incident in February, a warrant was claimed to have been had, which I have not seen.
Okay.
So those are my main problems, my issues with the
So you're saying that the issues are because they didn't provide you the warrant or show you the warrant when you were arrested?
Yeah, I don't believe there was one.
Okay.
And I asked to see one, and that's not something you make later. If you come to arrest someone at their home, you better have that warrant
in front of you first,
with the affidavit and probable cause.
Right.
So I want to see those things, and I have not been provided with those documents. I don't believe them to be to exist.
Okay.
And then that other trooper that came here, he said he had a warrant, and he didn't have one in his hand.
Okay.
And that's my problem with that. And once that step is taken, then it creates a huge problem for me with courts and stuff. That warrant should be in place first.
Okay.
So
again, could I get a handwritten deposition? I'll handwrite it right here. Again, you don't have to come outside if you don't want. I'll handwrite it right here on exactly what you said, that you are upset that the warrant, you don't believe the warrant existed. You were arrested and never provided the copy of the warrant, taken and arraigned. And again, you don't have to go into your...
By the way, police have the right to lie. So I don't believe anything this cop is saying. That's the other problem that I have with our government and the judges, that the Supreme Court literally made it legal for police officers to lie. I mean, what a joke, right? You're supposed to respect and give qualified immunity to someone. Look, I was reared up as a Lutheran and an evangelical Christian, that lying is like one of the worst things that you can do. And so, but at the same time, like 1 Adam 12 and Emergency 1, for you guys that are like over 50, have you ever watched 1 Adam 12 or Chips growing up? Like, we were taught to worship the police. But as I became a lawyer, and after what happened to me after getting beat up by a cop over a parking ticket, I started doing more research, and I realized this is ridiculous. They're allowed to lie to us. Why are we giving them any kind of love or affection. These people lie to us in order to get convictions. So do you guys really give me a bunch of ones if you don't believe anything that this cop is saying? Give me a bunch of twos if you worship the ground that he walks on and you think that he's being honest right now. Let's keep going.
Your court dealings, because you said that's still pending. And then that way, because the reason why
that's
I'm
more
here,
specific than the
Bunch.
way that I wrote it there. You're
just,
saying
right, pretty much that way, because you submitted a complaint.
By the way, guys, give me a bunch of ones for Punch. Rangers, who? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Kyle just said Punch. And since Kyle is an Army dog, he's an officer in the Army. And, you know, Rangers, who? Because that's Marines, we support Rangers. And most Army infantry officers have to go to Ranger school. So, who? All right. Let's get into it.
Complaint form, so I'm here to investigate the complaint, and I want to make sure that I have it written down on what I'm supposed to investigate to make sure that when they did come here on
So Christopher Real makes a complaint because the cops keep showing up to his house without a warrant. So this guy here is investigating the complaint that this man made on those cops. But wait, remember when I told you guys not to trust police? In a little bit, you're going to hear this cop say that the man has a warrant and that he could take him to jail. Pay attention to this.
July
attention.
16th, I think you told me.
yeah.
That there was an actual warrant, and on that actual warrant, it should be dated before July 16th, obviously, to make sure one existed.
Yeah.
Because if one existed, then it would be understandable on why they were here. And same thing
But
with
if
the
they
other,
were, yeah, why
the
was
other
it?
ones, if there was a warrant with Erie County, and you had said that my troopers were just there, and they
No,
didn't-
that wasn't the case, because they said they had a warrant, and then the state trooper said we also have a warrant.
okay.
Like it was two different.
But I mean, during the arrest process, Erie County said they have a warrant. They arrested you, handcuffs, put you in their car, and did what they do.
no, they didn't. No.
Oh.
I said I need to see that warrant.
Okay.
They left. I don't know why people are coming here on police without warrants. It's a big problem. And who do I make a complaint to?
So that night that the Erie County said they had a warrant for you, they didn't arrest you?
No.
What happened that night?
That was during the day. That was in
The day,
February.
okay.
But just Friday night, the two sheriff deputies were here saying they had a warrant.
Okay.
And did not have a warrant. I said I need to see that warrant.
Okay.
And they don't have a warrant. But, you know, what is going on with this? So who do I make a complaint to about that?
That would be through Erie County. If Erie County is doing something, you have to talk to Erie County. If my troopers are doing something, of course, you can do what you did here, or talk to me directly. You don't call me on the phone, that type of thing.
I believe there was state troopers here on July 27th of 2022, and my motorcycle was stolen out of my driveway.
And they were
It's
here to
not okay.
investigate
It's
that,
not
or-
okay. No, I said clearly that I do not consent to that being taken.
Okay.
Why is it being taken? And now I still can't get it back. And the tow company is trying to extort me for $13,000.
Holy crap.
It was towed.
It was stolen. It was stolen.
I love
Because
that.
a tow would be if it's obstructing, on the road, something like that. It was parked right in front of my barn there.
Okay. And then what happened? I'm sorry, I don't know that case.
It was taken
By, do you know who? Or?
Why?
I guess the North Collins Village police
If anybody knows why, I want to know why.
Okay.
made the order, but sheriff deputies were rolling it down the driveway, and state troopers were here. Where are the good cops?
Exactly.
They
Again, if
do
it's
you know what I
Erie
mean?
County's case, I
There
don't
was
know
like
exactly.
12 of them here. Where's the
Where
good
are
cop
they?
that's going to
Where
say?
are they? I think they're all
Why are you
retired.
taking that guy's motorcycle?
They all
Again,
got
if it's Erie
fired.
County's
for
case,
whistleblowing.
I don't know what their case
I'm
is, and I
just,
don't know what they were, why they took
Do you
it.
see what I mean though?
Well, I
They're-
can't speak to their case because I wasn't part of their case and I'm not part of their department. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know. I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. Is what the police always say. But then, they come and drag me out of my house without a warrant.
Again, if that happened with a different department, I can't speak to them. I can
Whatever,
only speak
dude.
to what happens with my guys.
Oh,
I
yawn.
But,
we work together, but we don't
Sure you
share
do.
cases and so forth. You know what I mean?
if you put those addresses in from those incidents, you could get all the body cam
Okay.
footage, right?
Absolutely, I'm going to review those. Yeah.
Okay,
that's-
and I put in a FOIA request for that. So, but they said they're going to give me a response.
So here's another problem, guys. We need to get educated if we're going to hold the government accountable. A FOIA request is a Freedom of Information Act. That's federal. All right. State law is totally different. Remember, we have a 10th Amendment. So, and originally the federal government was supposed to be very weak. It was only supposed to be strong when it came to defending our country from foreign invaders. But obviously, this last administration opened our borders to allow illegals and people who are hostile to our way of life from Roman civil law democracies to flood into our country, giving them everything for free in exchange for potential votes, or to redistrict everything blue using the census. But their original job and purpose, the federal government, was to protect our borders and to protect us from foreign invasion and to protect commerce and to regulate disputes between the states, so the states or people like you and I wouldn't resort to self-help, right? Like, pound of flesh. Anyways, let's get into it.
Response in 6 months? That seemed...
Body camera is there's a ton of footage, and then two, it also gets reviewed to see what's on there.
They redact the parts that
like at the station. Of course, we have a code to get in through the door. And if that code is caught on our body camera, we of course don't want that getting out to the general public, so they have to, blur that image. That way, when it does make it out to the public, you can't see what the special code is to get to our station. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? And same thing. If I was here at yours and you had a special code here and you didn't want that getting out, you wouldn't want me to be able to show that footage on
public
Facebook or
public
wherever,
area,
so everybody can see what your special code is. So that kind of thing has to be taken care of. Or say one of my guys comes in and is talking to me during your case and asks me what my phone number is. And
who cares? It's public.
It's on their camera.
Do it in private.
Of course, we don't want my phone number getting out. Stuff like that.
Then don't give it out in public.
There's a very long process.
Hopefully that's not abused.
Don't give it out in public.
Process.
Right. There's only certain things that are allowed, and there's rules on what is allowed and what isn't allowed, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why it's so backed up and lengthy.
It's full of it.
So, let me ask you this: is there a warrant for my arrest with the New York State Troopers?
Yes.
There is.
Yes.
There's a warrant for my arrest.
Yes.
You're telling me that now?
I am telling you that right now.
Can I see it?
Yep.
Are you here to arrest me on that warrant?
Right, Dan.
I can.
Let me see.
This is my original, so I'm not going to hand it over, but
bench warrant.
Yep.
Where's the rest of it?
This is the whole warrant. This is it. So it's a bench warrant.
Well, where's the original warrant?
This is the original. Right there's the watermark.
Watermark.
See how that's...
So the fact that he's at the front door talking with his accuser right now, in most jurisdictions, that bench warrant will give him the authority to make an arrest and take this guy into custody. But keep listening, because when I watched this morning, I was blown away, because it sounds like it's a bench warrant that's already been recalled. And I want you guys to help me understand this. I'm blown away. It looks like he's showing him a stale bench warrant to prove that there was a bench warrant at the time he was falsely arrested. But I want to know what, especially Wassa, mad at you. By the way, Wassa, I did get your link, and yeah, I'll show it when we're done with this. Look, let me tell you something, guys. The best way to learn is to teach. All right. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. Yeah, I got 20 years experience plus, but sometimes I learn more from people like you than I learn from anything that you could learn in a law book or in a court case. So, we're all learning together here. You're all my brothers and sisters. Don't take the fact that I'm a lawyer to mean anything other than that I'm a servant, and I'm here to be part of your team and to help you guys, because I believe that it is an honor to be a lawyer, and it is my duty as a result of this office of public trust that I hold to try and help people like you. And I honestly do believe that. As you can see, I'm not getting rich off this channel. All right.
See how it's
embossed.
It's stamped on there. Yes, there is actual warrant to it.
So that's the warrant that other policeman was talking about.
This one is dated May 22nd, 2023. So this one was just issued not that long ago. And it's for some charges stemming from...
A bench warrant must be from...
That means that you've already been arraigned and processed with the arresting agency, which would be us.
Listen.
On, it looks like, harassment and criminal mischief charges.
What if I showed you a paper that said that was dismissed?
If it's
would you
after
take it? Huh?
May 22nd, that would be beneficial.
No, before that.
Right. So
That's
now this has just
fraudulent.
been issued.
Oh, it's a no.
The court just issued this,
No.
The court just issued this, North Collins, on May 22nd.
That doesn't surprise me.
So
Where's
what I'm here for? Yes, I brought this along. What I am here
you know
for,
that that's not a warrant, right?
No, it is.
Well, where's the affidavit?
What the information that goes along with it.
Okay, so again, with a bench warrant, typically if it's already a prior charge that you're aware of, an affidavit won't be required, and that's what we talked about earlier. So that's why I wanted to show you guys this video, because I feel for this dude, and I wish that he would follow my channel on Team MPE, because the fact that he's brave like this, he reminds me of Chili, and it makes me want to help him. It makes me worried about him, because I can see he's a freedom fighter. But I want to make sure that anybody who's doing this is armed with all of the information that they need in order to win. Because you can argue all you want and you can act like you're right, but if the judges don't go along with it, if the courts don't go along with it, if the jury doesn't believe it, if the jury even thinks you're a jerk, you're not going to win. And I want you guys to win. Winning is what matters, because you being locked up doesn't do any of us any good, doesn't do your wife any good, doesn't do your children any good. So I'm here to help teach you guys. I'm not here to try and be right or berate people. I want to help people like this guy. So let's keep listening.
What is the probable cause? Yeah. No
What do you mean
warrant shall
probable
issue.
cause?
No warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause.
And no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Right. The arrest has already been made.
Without a warrant. You can't circumvent the warrant process. But
You're getting to a bunch of legal jargon that you're actually in over your head about. But what I'm here for
Well,
is this.
That may or
I
may
brought
not
this
be
with
true.
me because if the arrest can be made, I would make the arrest. But I am more interested in this right here,
Interested in what?
because this is what I'm sent to investigate, being that I'm the sergeant up there.
Why did I not receive anything with that warrant?
You'll have to ask North Collins Court about that. The police, we get the warrant from the court, and then we now can execute it. How the court, if they notify through mail, through email, through text message, whatever they do, that is up to the court. Again, it falls on, we can't tell the courts what they have to do. So I don't know if they're mailing something to a different address. The address they have on here
You should be
is this one.
aren't you to protect the people's rights? You swore an oath to uphold the Constitution.
Absolutely.
But the court is not the people. That's from a magistrate.
It's from the judge, yes.
So where's the probable cause?
Again, the probable cause has to do with the arrest. And the arrest was made however long ago these charges stem from. The probable cause doesn't have to do anything with the warrant.
Well, that arrest was made,
Which one? The harassment and criminal mischief?
yeah,
Okay,
from your men
right.
without a warrant. See the problem
When
here?
did that happen?
July 16th.
July 16th.
Yeah.
So you did
Nice.
something to cause them to come up with those charges, right?
I don't know. I wasn't
If the court case is going
That's a
on, you don't
good-
want to tell me about
good
it. but
question,
what was the original call?
there was no exigent circumstances.
Again, you're talking about things that doesn't even apply. What was the
That's not true.
what was
It would apply.
damaged or vandalized to cause them to think you did criminal mischief?
I don't know. They came here, said to ask me questions.
So again, he's basically baiting him to try and get enough evidence for this guy to admit that the prior arrest was legit or valid. And so when he said there was no exigent circumstances to make that arrest, he might very well be right. And this cop is baiting him to try to get information. So clearly something's going on. And I got a comment here from Dan Glick. I have the feeling that if it was a legit warrant, old boy would be on the ground in the cuffs. I may be wrong. I think you're probably right, brother. Look, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And that's why I decided to do this video tonight. I've never, ever seen a situation where a cop shows up with a warrant and says, "Oh, I'm not really here to arrest you, even though I can. I'm here to find out about this other thing." What it looks like to me is they realized they made a false arrest back then. The very warrant that he's appearing on, in my opinion, the very warrant that he's appearing on, the bench warrant, is based upon a false arrest. and he's baiting this guy, this arrestee, this citizen, this sovereign, to get information from him to justify that prior false arrest. That's what I believe based on what I'm seeing right now. And again, look, I've got 20 years as a lawyer in now, and I've been doing this for a long ass time, and I've never seen anything like this in my life. And I freaking really, like, from the bottom of my heart, man, I really appreciate San Joaquin. This dude is legit. I've seen him out there auditing with his sons, and he just reminds me so much of how I am, how I believe. He's trying to teach his boys how to be real Americans, and it just makes me proud there's still people like you guys out there. Let's keep on watching this video.
If there was a warrant, they would have said there's a warrant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. They used trickery. And then they drug me in chains and arraigned me at force of arms.
You mean handcuffs?
Yeah.
And force of arms, what does that mean?
Yeah, by power of having a gun.
Hello.
The power of having a gun.
Sure, that's
So
by
the
force
gun was
of
on their
arms.
hip, it wasn't pointed
By
at
force
your
of
head.
arms.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Still force of
Okay.
arms.
So that there's no warrant. There's no probable cause. You can't. It's a kidnapping.
I like
can't
that.
kidnap somebody with no probable cause, and then then think that legitimizes it now by having that's not a warrant. It's a bench warrant.
Okay, and did you go to court and argue this point? And
I think I've been to court on that matter 18 times.
Wow.
And I've been
did the
arrested.
judge agree with you and say, "Oh yes, you're right. We've
Wow.
proved your point that there was no probable cause to make the arrest originally, and that's why everything should be dismissed."
Yeah, maybe in a perfect world, but
That's the way it works.
I requested to see.
I watch court TV all the time.
Yeah,
and Johnny
I know.
Depp
I
was
watch
just out
court
there, and
TV.
that's how it works.
I requested to see that warrant
Okay,
No.
and
I know how it works, buddy.
showing a probable cause.
the warrant doesn't show probable cause. You're again
No warrant shall issue but upon probable cause.
right, and that's based off the original arrest.
Yeah.
Right. And here's what's going on. And now I'm starting to get this a little better. Because again, when I watched this the first time, it was like 4 a.m. and I was freaking wiped out, but it didn't pass the smell test. What this guy's saying makes more sense now. The arrestee. He's like, wait, the original arrest there was no probable cause to make that arrest. So I'm starting to get the feeling that this cop knows it. And he's out there trying to pretend like he's a nice guy because he's baiting him to try and get him to admit or get enough information to where he can go back and say, hey, the original arrest was valid. But probably what happened is one of these cops that was out there got butthurt because that's why they took his motorcycle, right? From in front of his freaking home. And look where he lives. He's like dirty. He probably lives in the backwoods. I mean, maybe he didn't have a registration sticker. I don't know the full circumstances, but that would be a basis they would use. Well, if it's parked in your driveway, we can't take your motorcycle. But if it's parked out on the public road, we can. If you don't have a registration sticker, right? And you're talking to a guy who used to have like the British West Indies license plates on his car. Like I'm one of the original guys who contested all this stuff. That's why cops hated me. So like I'm trying to like put my mind into his mind. Let's keep going.
Something was done.
Right. So now you got that one photocopy in your hand.
It's not a photocopy, it's the original.
Well, it's the original. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you that. It's got the wedding signature on there, but there's no probable cause. There's no affidavit.
Again,
So
you're
just
talking
because
about things that
well,
don't apply to that
because they skipped that over in the first place when your men came here and drugged me out of my house without a
Originally.
warrant.
which is what
Originally.
you should be fighting in court.
There must be a valid arrest warrant before what is that bench warrant for
The
what
bench
purpose?
warrant is issued because you were already arrested for the
That's
criminal
true.
mischief
That is
and the
true.
harassment charges, but didn't complete everything needed at court. That's why it's a bench warrant. If it was an arrest,
But were those original charges valid? And that's where I'm going with this. That's my brain housing group is saying to myself, wait a minute. That's what Baldy over here is trying to do. He's trying to find a way to validate that original arrest. The city attorney probably sent him out here. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys think that the city attorney or the prosecutor sent him out here to play Mr. Good Guy to try to get enough evidence to validate the original false arrest. That's what I'm thinking. Look, this guy's no dummy. The citizen, he's no dummy. He knows what he's doing to a degree. But if he was part of Team MPE, he'd know a lot more. And that's why I come on here, guys. I'm not doing this for my health.
Arrest warrant, that means you hadn't been processed.
What
yet.
didn't I complete?
Failed to appear for a scheduled court appearance.
Let me bring something up that nobody's really talking about. A lot of times the people get tickets or get arrested and have to go to court. Back in the day, you were given a court date. All of a sudden now they want you to call the court in a few days to find out if your ticket went through. There's either two things happening here, folks. Either they're all doing this on purpose or the whole damn system is incompetent.
Failed to
I would
appear.
agree with that.
Oh, so there's service of process then. Where's the affidavit of service? That
And you're talking about a like on a notice of correction, but that's what the judges issued this for, because you were.
Yeah,
supposed to go to
I'm
court
getting
and you
tired
didn't
of
show up to
this.
court.
You know, I'm getting tired of this. That's
What
going to be
I'd
another.
advise you to do on this, again, I'm here for this.
Are you a lawyer?
But what I would advise you to do on this bench warrant, which is right here in my hand, it is valid, is contact the court and ask them, what court date do I need to show up for? Because your charges that you have are still pending. If you have a defense, which you're trying to explain to me right now, which I am not the person to explain your defense.
You're not a
to, it's the
lawyer.
judge.
I understand it.
Right, it's the judge and the attorneys and all that kind of stuff. Then that's who you need to talk to.
He's part of the
But until you
prosecutorial
talk to
team.
the judge in the court on this, there is a original active bench warrant for your arrest.
That's ridiculous.
I'm just saying.
I'm tired of this.
I'm
you
just
know-
saying that's how you need to take care of this.
Well,
Or
here's my problem.
any police officer that comes in contact with you is going to see that you have an active warrant and is going to arrest you.
Boy, they're going to be sorry they keep doing this. This is a long history of abuses. Here's the thing. You say to call them, right?
Call
To
the
clear
court.
things up,
Absolutely.
and they're what going to maybe give a court date.
Yep.
That seems reasonable, except for how much that I've been through thus far, and
That's through the court.
that's not service of process.
That's through the court. That's an argument you have to make through them.
I'm not
As
the
a police
courts.
officer, or all my other police officers out there, Wanda, Eden, Erie County, every police officer, they see that there is an active warrant. That's what they know right there. I'm trying to just explain it to you so you know.
That's the first one that I've seen. With an actual warrant. That's the first one I've seen. I've requested to see him several times.
Mhm.
I don't know why I haven't.
No.
But there's still no affidavit or probable cause, and I don't
Again,
know.
those don't apply to this warrant. Those apply to your original arrest.
Right, and that's the issue.
So that's why. So it's okay
That's
to
why he's
arrest
there.
without a warrant, and then they could issue bench warrants and arrest me.
That's why I think he's there. I think he's trying to get evidence to validate the prior false arrests. And I'm hoping that San Joaquin, if he watches this, he sees the nuance as well. Because I'm not trying to invalidate anything San Joaquin's saying. I mean, God bless San Joaquin for bringing this video out. Like I watched this thing, brother, at like 4 a.m. before I started work. And like, it's all I've been thinking about all day, thinking like, if this dude was my brother or my uncle, like, how could I even work? Right? Like, how could I get anything done? I'm trying to understand and unravel this puzzle. This cop's out there trying to act buddy and nice to him because he's trying to get evidence, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing right now. And you give me a bunch of ones if you agree, give me a bunch of twos if you disagree. I think what he's trying to do is trying to find a way, because remember, he's part of the prosecutorial team. Law enforcement officers are part of the prosecutorial team. They carry a torch of prosecutorial power, and they hand that torch off to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor hands that torch off to the jury, and the jury hands that torch off to the judge. You guys understand how this works? Give me a bunch of ones if you understand. There's a torch of prosecutorial power. Google it. Or, well, I hate Google, but try to do some of your own research. But that's the idea. He's not trying to be this dude's friend. He's there to protect the municipal corporation. The police have zero duty to protect individuals. Their job is to protect the administrative state. Make no mistake about it. His job is not to protect you. Look at the Rodney King case. Look at those riots. The only people who escaped with their lives were the well-armed Korean shopkeepers. The very people that Gavin Newsom and the Democrats have been trying to disarm with the Liberties assault weapons bill. Basically, all those weapons that they use, 99% of them are now illegal in California. Because why? Because the administrative state doesn't support people who believe in individual rights and freedom. They support the mob.
Without
misdemeanor
probable cause?
charges, so you don't need a warrant off the original charge, since it's a misdemeanor offense of the criminal mischief.
You don't need a warrant to arrest on a misdemeanor.
Not every arrest needs a warrant. No.
Well, unless the policeman witnesses a crime, right?
That's a violation.
Or there's probable cause. I don't know what the probable cause is.
Right. If you have enough to based on your investigation, you can make the arrest. And that's apparently what happened here on the original charge.
But that's not what they said. They said
original. And then each additional interaction you've had since then has been because of a warrant that was issued because you failed to appear.
Yeah, they're floating one thing off of the next when the foundation blocks weren't laid. You know,
off the original, which is your harassment and your criminal mischief. And then because things.
Hey, Kyle, you see those chevrons? If Kyle's still here, hua. Hey, Kyle, hua. Sergeant first class, what's going on? Because I don't see cross rifles, so he's not a gunny, but he looks like he's a sergeant first class. What do you say? Hua?
Weren't taken care of at court. The court issues a warrant.
How many times?
They can issue over and over.
And
so
also that was dismissed too.
If the charges were dismissed, they wouldn't issue another warrant.
It was dismissed, and I could prove it.
You said you have paperwork on something.
I do, stating that was dismissed.
Can I see it?
Yeah, you want to see that?
Sure.
Yeah, would you put that in your arm? Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay, I'm here to talk to you.
Were you going to arrest me? Did you want me to talk about that, and you were going to arrest me on that warrant?
If you came with me, then we take care of your warrant at the same time. I am here for this first and foremost.
Okay. I couldn't come right up with it. I do have it. I have a lot of papers concerning this stuff. I don't know what difference.
Charges were dismissed. The criminal mischief and harassment from our arrest.
It was
about Erie County stuff. Okay, this is from our arrest.
It was.
If those were dismissed, then the court couldn't issue us a warrant.
That's not true. They do it all the time.
Shouldn't.
Bullshit.
Can't, because the charges are
that's not
done
true.
and over with.
Right.
They do it all the time.
That's how they're doing me. Yeah, I don't know what difference it would make. Would it make a difference to you? You seem like higher up over at that barracks.
I'm in charge of the barracks. I'm the station commander there.
You are.
Sergeant first class.
There are people higher than me, but at that station, I am.
Would you tell your men to not arrest on that warrant if I showed you that it had been dismissed?
I would, if you show me paperwork that says that these charges are dismissed, I would immediately go back to my
Right
station,
on, April.
contact the court, and find out what is going on. I was just.
I'm gonna find that paper then.
I was just provided paperwork that says these charges are dismissed. Why did you give us a warrant?
April, you're killing
to
me
find
right
out
now.
if this is legitimate or not. Absolutely.
I'm gonna find that paper then. That seems worth it to find it.
I'm not trying to
I'm
play
gonna
any trickery or
I'm
anything.
gonna find
I've been 100% honest with you the whole time I'm here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you, there's a warrant.
You'll
for you.
do that because okay. So
And even though I'm a
That
police
was
officer,
freaking
yes, I
comedy,
can arrest you
huh?
right now. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because you made a complaint, and I want to find out about that.
Okay.
Sure.
This guy is.
I don't want to make another complaint. So let me find that paper.
I have some minutes.
You give me just a minute.
Go
Absolutely.
Army.
Okay.
Obviously, don't take hours.
No,
or anything, but
no,
maybe
probably 2-3 minutes. I think I'll find it.
Stand right here in the sun because it's a little chilly in the shade.
Okay, I'll be right with you. Thank you.
One of the things I really like about this guy is how humble he is with everything that he's got going on. He even made a video thanking his 30 subs. As of right now, folks, he is at exactly 700 subscribers. I shared another one of his videos on the main channel today. I believe with this one, we'll get him over 1,000. With that, he'll be able to live stream.
Oh, hell yeah, guys. So do me a big favor. Take a screenshot. Christoph A. Real. Christoph A. Real. 99. Hold on. I'm going to scroll this up. 995. So this is San Joaquin News Network, the link that I'm sharing with you, but 1,000%, this dude needs like 1 million subscribers, and he is being humble. He's being totally legit, and I dig his freaking Viking beard. So that tells me he probably rides a Harley or an Indian, right? He's probably a biker, and they took his freaking bike unsat. unsat. If they, dude, I know some bikers, if the police came and took their bike, trust me, there'd be hell to pay. Let's keep going.
Stream, and he can possibly monetize his channel as well. So make sure you guys go watch his videos to help with the watch hours that he needs. All right, let's talk about this video. This is not the first time that cops have come to his house asking him to go with them to the vehicle so that they could take him to a magistrate, yada, yada. They're all lies, folks. They never come with the warrant in their hands. And there's a video on his channel right now where they come to his house in the middle of the night asking him to come outside. This is like a freaking crazy movie, folks. Like an episode of Ozark. These cops need to understand that we the people will not be bullied by them. We will have their jobs if they keep it up. This guy did an outstanding job of standing on his Fourth Amendment, and this video should serve as an example of what to do and what not to do when cops come knocking at your door. Absolutely do not open the door. That is the best thing that this guy did throughout the whole video, is not trust a cop and go outside when he was asked to. Just don't do it, folks.
But hold up. The fact that he had the interaction at all would have been enough for the cop to make the arrest. My thought is, and again, I'm going to stand on this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. My thought is that cop was there because he recognized and realized, probably the prosecutor told him, that the original arrest was a bunk arrest. And you need to go out there and try to pretend like you're nice to get this guy to admit or confess and engage in an investigation against himself. And he kind of did. I mean, he basically started interacting with this cop, and I would advise against that. However, because he did do it, that gave us the opportunity to have a teachable moment. And so that Christoph Real, guys, dude, all you guys, please go and subscribe and like to his channel and let him know that Team MPE sent you. And I want to have him on the show to interview him. I want to help teach him and show, share with him my knowledge. And guys, look, I'm not expecting guys like Christoph or San Joaquin to do whatever the hell I tell them to do. I just want them to know that I'm here as a valuable resource with my experience. I got a lot of experience dealing with courts to try and help them so they can avoid the torture cuffs, getting arrested, having their money stolen from them, and being in jail while their dog's not getting fed, while their motorcycle's getting stolen. No, I don't want that for any of y'all. Now, by the way, it looks like P super sticker. Thank you, P. And by the way, that's Plead the Fifth. Make sure to like and subscribe to Plead the Fifth's channel. Another way to support my channel without giving money to the commies that run YouTube is to pick up a copy of my ebook. It's right now, you can only pick it up on PayPal, but it's my journey to becoming a practicing lawyer with no law degree or undergrad. And so it's not going to be this softbound book, right? It's going to be the digital version of this book, but it's $19.99. And even if you don't want to learn about how I became a lawyer with no undergrad or a law degree, at least you could share it with people who need inspiration in their lives, because you're talking to somebody. When I sold my limousine company and moved to LA on a dream to become a lawyer with no basic education other than some German lessons from Orange Coast College, I had no idea what was going to happen. I just knew I was ready. I had been beaten up by a West Covina cop. I sued him and got 30 grand. And I had a little bit of money left over from selling my limo company to my partner. I was Rodney Dangerfield's chauffeur, and I was hanging around with like high powered people. And I was like, man, I can achieve things too. And so I found a way to do it. And I became a lawyer with no law school, no law degree, no undergrad, on a dream. And I slept on park benches. I lived at the Yes Center in Venice Beach and did whatever I had to do to become a lawyer. And I have now won for my personal injury clients over $200 million in verdicts and settlements. And just to give you an idea, I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to be a narcissist or anything like that, but I'm just telling you guys, like, if I could do it, you can do it too. I'm an honorably discharged, medically disabled Marine. I lost my shot at becoming a lifer. And as Kyle knows, he was an Army officer in combat arms. you know, that was my dream. That's what I wanted to be, a lifer. I wanted to become a Mustang officer. I wanted to be like Chesty Puller. Because I grew up with guys like my dad, always talking about Chesty Puller every other second, hanging out with Marines and his force reconnaissance buddies from Vietnam, a couple of Navy SEAL guys too that he was friends with. And so to me, that's what I wanted to be. And when I couldn't do that, it destroyed me. It crushed me. And so after getting beat up by that cop, after just doing odd job to odd job, sales jobs, health club sales, owning a health club, I realized, you know what, man, I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to do this. And that's why I'm inviting you guys to pick up a copy of my journey to becoming a practicing lawyer with no law degree or undergrad. It may not be the best book in the world, but it's $19.99. You can get it up by going to my YouTube profile and pressing the drop down. And that helps me support my channel. You know, just so I can show my wife and kids, hey, look, I'm not just up here all night chatting with these people on YouTube for laughs. I'm actually making a difference. By the way, hold on a minute. Looks like I got another one. Hell yeah. Plead the Fifth says, yes, it's me. Plead the Fifth. So Plead the Fifth just threw me another $2. And by the way, guys, I don't care if it's $2 or 50 cents. I don't care. I don't care if it's $500. To me, what matters is that you're supporting my channel and you're showing me that you like my channel. And that means a lot to me. I honestly never thought that after Chili got out of jail that I would ever come back on YouTube again. But I get so many emails and so many requests to do stories. That's why I'm here. Now, stick around, guys. I have What's the Matter You? What's the matter you? Hey, why are you looking so sad? Who shared this other video with me about bench warrants. So I'm going to share that one. But first, I want to share this other one just because I think it's pretty good. And this guy kind of reminds me of like the Soprano Mafia dudes. Let's check it out real quick. And then we'll get into What's the Matter You's video. Let's do it.
Warrants, they're generally pretty scared because they find out they have to go to court and they're scared that the judge is going to keep them there, which is the case. In order to avoid that, you hire a lawyer like myself. We can clear that warrant, get you readmitted to the classes or the fines that you need to take, and then we can get you on your way. No harm, no foul. Have you heard of a judge issuing a bench warrant? Someone will be convicted of a crime, and then they will have to do certain requirements afterwards, like classes or pay fines. However, if they don't do their classes,
anyways, I thought it was kind of good, but he misses a lot of stuff. You know, he misses quite a few things. A bench warrant doesn't just get issued because you miss a class. It can get issued for a lot of reasons, like you failed to call in to find about your hearing date. So it's basically, I call it a trap for the unwary. Write this down or type it. I call bench warrants a trap for the unwary. You have to be very careful, guys, because the administrative state, they're basically road pirates, right? They just want to rape you and steal your money, put you in torture cuffs, throw you in jail, and take away everything that you have, especially if you're poor. If you're black, they assume that you're poor. If you're a single mom, they don't give a crap. They'll take your kids, send them off to Child Protective Services. I've done another video before about how these corrupt judges, I think it was in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, I believe, it's on my channel. You can find them, where they were basically in cahoots with Child Protective Services and foster homes in the prison industrial complex, private prisons. They're getting payola for locking kids up. And of course, they always go for the black kids because they know that their parents probably don't have money, right? They're poor, or poor white people. But I don't want to get too racial, guys, but it is true. You do get profiled based upon how much money you have. When all my cars are registered to my law firm, when I get pulled over, usually it's like, have a nice day. And I've always got my weapons at the ready on display. I don't get messed with. So, and I'm not bragging. What I'm saying is I think it's kind of unfair because they know that I'm going to be able to fight back. And that's why I love having you guys on my channel. Because look, I want all of you. I want all of you guys. Listen, I want every single one of you guys to become lawyers with no undergrad or law degree. So you don't get the crap beat out of you over a parking ticket like me. And if you do, so at least you can win and you can get your justice. I really want that for all of you. I mean, I'm infuriated at municipal police and how much power they have. It makes me sick to my stomach. By the way, Plead the Fifth just hooked me up again, man. Hooked me up with a membership. So some lucky dude out there is getting a membership to the team MPA. Huh? By the way, I'm a Marine, so we typically go, hold on, guys. I got to do my prop. Us Marines typically go, "Hoorah, hoo, hoo, hoo." But since I got an Army officer who was in combat arms, I go, huh, because they go HUA, huh. You guys stole our shit, man. Anyways, so thank you for getting me that Plead the Fifth membership. Now, hopefully, we have a lucky dude out there who's going to benefit from the channel. And Danelle Brown, you rock, Danelle. Hey, man, I got to tell you something, Danelle. I know that $10. Look, when I was sleeping on park benches, $10 to me was breakfast. Like, it was a big freaking deal. And I don't know how much money you make, but I don't discount, even if it's $1, a dollar to one person might be $1 million to another. And so I don't give a crap. I mean, what you're doing for me, supporting my channel and my wife and my kids means a lot to me. These shows, it's so hard for me to do this. I get up super early. I'm wiped out. I'm getting old. A lot of you guys know I just had really bad kidney stones. I thought I was going to die. I'm getting old. I'm not the young judoka Marine that I once was. So, look, you guys are getting the last half of the better part of my life. You're getting the experienced, wise part of my life, and I'm sharing it with you. And so anytime you guys support me, even if it's 50 cents, it shows that you care about me and my family and that you're supporting what I'm trying to do for y'all. And again, all you, like, I had some clown tell me that they think that I'm buying views. That's absurd. I don't have the money, first of all, to be buying views. When Gavin Newsom shut down California's economy, I had put like almost $3 million into billboard ads. And with the government shutdown that I can't discuss, or I'll get accused of medical disinformation or whatever, it wiped out our law firm. I lost a lot of employees, people who I really care about, and it really hurt us really bad. So I get it. If you're talking to somebody who's made millions and lost millions, and so just the fact that I'm even here right now after all that depression of having a successful firm and losing so much really means a lot. And God works in mysterious ways. So here I am. And then I have another $2 right on, another $2 from Plead the Fifth. Hold on. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. And I got I got a gift from Plead the Fifth. Man, Plead the Fifth, you rock. For someone who likes to reserve your right to remain silent, you're pretty noisy tonight, brother. So look, I appreciate all that. So, man, Westman 78. Let me tell you something, dude. I'm still in pain from those kidney stones, and I think that I probably have residuals. I have my doctor, my secondary doctor is saying that I have sciatica from the swelling because I had a major infection. Like, I thought I was going to die. And it pinched off, I guess, the left side of my nerves. And as you guys know, I'm a disabled vet, so I'm stuck going to the VA. So my wife keeps telling me, go to the VA, go to the VA. I'm like, man, I don't have freaking 3 days to spend in the emergency room. I got to support you guys. And she's like, well, stop spending so much time on your YouTube channel. You guys who are married know what I'm talking about. I'm like, why would I do that? Then I would die of a broken heart, right? Oh my goodness, look at this. You didn't have to do that, Danelle. Danelle just took me up with $20. That was freaking outstanding. Now, by the way, guys, look, I love the super chats and the super stickers, but just remember that that money goes, like, a lot of it goes to the platform. And if you want to really support me, pick up a copy of my ebook. Just go to my YouTube channel, $19.99, My Journey to Becoming a Practicing Lawyer with No Law Degree or Undergrad. And you can get the ebook version. This is a soft cover, all right? I'm not selling the soft cover. It would cost me too much money with shipping and handling to bring it to you guys. And then I would have to involve her, right, to ship it, because I work all the time. That's what my job is, to support my wife and kids. And her job is to take care of the kids in the household. And that's how we do it. We have a traditional relationship. In other words, she's the boss and I'm the slave. I work for her. So the fact that I'm here right now is because she's giving me this opportunity, because she knows that it makes me happy. And if you're not happy, you're not going to be as productive. So she's a smart woman. So all you women who think you need to have a career and all that, look, try to find somebody like me who wants a traditional family and have babies, because those babies are going to give you joy in your old age. Looking back at how much gross you earn for your boss isn't, but looking back at those beautiful children and knowing that your maid didn't raise your kids is going to give you a lot of joy. Give me a bunch of ones for you traditional homemakers who understand that we're just beasts of burden for you, and stop listening to the government and the military or the administrative industrial, the educational industrial complex that you have to be equal or whatever, because I don't consider someone equal who thinks that they have to be me, right? I mean, if you have any idea of what I go through every day just to get out of bed, you'll change your mind really quick. You won't want to be me. So anyways, let's get into the next video we have. And Danelle says, I have 4 boys. Right on. Danelle says, I have 4 boys and 1 girl, and it's the best part. It is. I mean, having a career and all the stuff that the government tells you. Look, it used to be that women didn't pay taxes. You know, only the men did. The head of the household paid the taxes. And so by, promoting this equality thing, all it did was just give the government an opportunity to generate more revenue, to create more government employees. It didn't do anything to help this country, because now you have these scumbag public school teachers rearing your children. And we just saw what happened in Oregon. If you want to do some research about what happened in Oregon, you have male public school teachers. You think that the Catholic Church abuses young boys? Look at the male public school teachers in our school system, the Rainbow Flag Mafia and the Drag Queen Story Hour people. Look at the abuse that's happening to your children while you go out to try and be equal. Why would anybody want to be equal to the stress that I'm having and the health problems that it's ridiculous. Do your best, guys, to homeschool your kids, form parallel systems, get your kids out of the administrative state, the school, educational, industrial complex. Listen to what Danelle is saying. Having your babies is the most important thing. And if you're a woman, you're a giver of life. I mean, all you men out there, unless you're completely stupid, you need to worship your women, man. Women are the givers of life. They're everything. Without them, you're nothing. You don't even exist. So stop listening to the government and do what's right. Like reproduce and have those babies. Remember, someone's going to be dropping sand over you. Do you want it to be your babies when you pass away? Or do you just want to, be thrown in an incinerator and have the government maybe try to sell some of your body parts off, right? The good ones that are left. Man, you guys need to wake the heck up, man. We got to change this system. We got to get back to our values. I mean, for thousands of years, people understood that women were the givers of life. And there's a lot to be jealous of, guys. I mean, for me, I'm jealous of women. Like, damn, I'm not saying I want to be one, because God put me in this body. And I'm happy with the body that God gave me. I'm not going to listen to some scumbag psychiatrist or psychologist tell me I was born in the wrong body. And I'm certainly going to go to prison for life if they try to tell my kids that they were born in the wrong body. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. Hooah. All right. So now we're going to get into the next video. This is a video that was shared with me by What's the Matter You. It's about search warrants. It's about 7 minutes. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on, but I'm going to make a quick head call, guys. For all you Army guys, that means latrine there, Kyle Hua. And I'll be right back, but I'm going to get this bad chicken rolling.
Are criminally invalid. The overwhelming majority of warrants executed in the United States today violate the clear mandates of the Fourth Amendment and, by extension, the constitutional rights of citizens. The Fourth Amendment explicitly requires that no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation. This probable cause must be based on a sworn statement from an actual victim or someone directly harmed by a criminal action, ensuring that the warrant has legitimate cause. Forgery of official documents. Modern warrants, which are issued without a sworn statement from a victim, are essentially forged documents. They claim the authority of the Constitution and the judiciary. But this is fraudulent because they lack the core requirement of probable cause backed by oath. They are unconstitutional written instructions from the judiciary to the executive, essentially authorizing law enforcement to commit crimes, namely, to seize persons and property without constitutional grounds. Invalid instructions and oath violations. Judges and law enforcement officers swear oaths to uphold the Constitution. Issuing or executing a warrant that does not conform to the Fourth Amendment's requirements constitutes a violation of that oath. Rather than serving as checks on each other, judges and law enforcement officers have turned into co-conspirators, using these invalid documents to circumvent constitutional protections. This is not just a breach of duty. It is an active criminal conspiracy to deprive individuals of their rights under the guise of legal authority. The constitutional framework and supremacy of the Fourth Amendment. The Supremacy Clause of the Constitution, Article 6, Clause 2, makes clear that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, overriding any state or local law that contradicts it. The Fourth Amendment is an inalienable right guaranteed by the Constitution, and no law or local jurisdiction can create policies or procedures that invalidate it. Reaffirmation. Through the Supremacy Clause. The Supremacy Clause reiterates that all laws, judicial rulings, and enforcement actions must align with the Constitution. Judges who issue, and police officers who execute, warrants without following the Fourth Amendment's requirements are acting against the supreme law of the land, and their actions are null and void. Any warrant that does not meet the Fourth Amendment standard is constitutionally invalid, no matter what state or local law enforcement
What's up,
claims.
Grateful? Good seeing you, man.
Multiple reaffirmations in the Bill of Rights. The Constitution reinforces the supremacy of individual rights repeatedly. The Ninth Amendment ensures that rights not specifically mentioned in the Constitution are retained by the people, and the 10th Amendment, often misinterpreted, does not give states the power to pass laws that violate constitutional rights. It affirms that any powers not delegated to the federal government remain with the people, but it does not, under any circumstances, allow states to pass laws that infringe on constitutional protections like those found in the Fourth Amendment. Warrants. Without victim sworn statements are unconstitutional. A proper warrant requires more than just a judge's signature.
That's true.
It demands the sworn statement of a victim who has suffered harm. This is the basis of probable cause as outlined in the Fourth Amendment. Probable cause must be rooted in an actual crime, a violation of someone's rights, property, or person. The absurdity of victimless crimes. A crime by definition requires a victim.
Corpus
So-called
delicti.
victimless crimes, offenses where no party has been harmed, cannot logically give rise to a legitimate warrant. Warrants for crimes like drug possession, where no victim exists, are unconstitutional. The state cannot serve as a proxy for a victim. The state's role is to protect individuals, not to invent crimes or act as an injured party.
Thank you, PVH.
Forged warrants. Without a victim's sworn statement, modern warrants are fraudulent on their face. They are not supposed.
Give me a bunch of ones for PVH. Throw me $3.50, which could be $500 to PVH. It means a lot to me, PVH. Thank you for supporting my channel. Everybody, please like and subscribe to PVH and give PVH some love. Thank you guys for supporting my channel and my family. I really do appreciate it.
Supported by real probable cause, but by an arbitrary assertion of state power. In this sense, they are forged legal documents, authorizing unconstitutional actions against individuals. Collusion between judges and law enforcement. The checks and balances system established in the Constitution places judges and law enforcement officers in separate branches of government for a reason. They are meant to hold each other accountable. When a judge issues a warrant based on law enforcement's request without the required victim statement, and law enforcement executes that warrant, both are complicit in violating the Constitution. Judges and police officers take oaths to uphold the Constitution. By issuing and enforcing illegitimate warrants, they are actively violating these oaths. This collusion turns the judiciary and law enforcement from defenders of liberty into agents of state overreach, conspiring to deprive citizens of their rights under false pretenses. The Declaration of Independence and the right to resist tyranny. The principles laid out in the Declaration of Independence reinforce the idea that governments exist to secure the inalienable rights of individuals. When the government, through its judges and police, violates those rights, it no longer operates with legitimate authority. The Declaration of Independence makes it clear that when a government becomes destructive of the rights it was created to protect, it is the right of the people to resist and demand the restoration of justice.
I like that.
In this context, unconstitutional warrants that violate the Fourth Amendment represent government tyranny, and the people are fully justified in rejecting and challenging them. Conclusion. Most modern warrants are criminal acts. The overwhelming majority of warrants issued and executed today are unconstitutional because they lack the core requirement of probable cause backed by a sworn statement from a victim. These warrants are not only invalid, they are forged documents that represent criminal actions by the judges who issue them and the law enforcement officers who execute them. The Supremacy Clause guarantees that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land,
Should be.
and no state or local jurisdiction can override it. Judges, law enforcement, and legislators are all bound to uphold the Constitution, and when they fail to do so, their actions are null and void. This
Marbury
widespread
versus
disregard for the
Madison.
Fourth Amendment and the rule of law is a betrayal of the sacred oath that public officials take to uphold the Constitution. The system of checks and balances is being undermined by the collusion of the judiciary and law enforcement, turning constitutional rights into mere suggestions that are ignored at will. The people, as outlined in the Declaration of Independence, have the right to resist and demand that justice be restored.
Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty freaking good. So that was from What's the Matter You. What's the Matter You is somebody who is been on my channel for a long time, and we don't agree on everything. But I just, that's why I love having people like that on my channel. I hate it when people agree with me on everything. I mean, what a terrible existence that would be to have a bunch of people that just agree with you. That's what corporate America wants, right? That's what the administrative state wants. They want to have a bunch of mindless idiots that agree with everything. Look, I'm about deleting laws. I think we should elect people who delete laws instead of passing more laws. I think we should have 50 political parties, right? The more political parties, the better. The more discord and the more disagreement, the better, because that means less laws get passed. And every time a law gets passed, what does that mean? It means that your freedom gets taken away. That's right. Every time a law is passed, more of your freedom is taken away from you. Hello, give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. So that's what I'm all about. So I just love having people like What's the Matter You and guys like DZ Watchdog and Chili DeCastro over at Delete Laws. The less you guys agree with me, the more I want to have you around. I like having spirited debate. However, there is one thing that I always want us all to agree on. And that this is like, for me, it's a no compromise thing, that all of our rights come from our Creator and they can't be taken away by man. That's what I want us to agree on. I want us to agree that our rights are unalienable and they cannot be taken away by judges, by cops, by public school teacher perverts, but they're granted to us from birth, and that we're all kings and we're all sovereign over our own lives, and that the government exists for the sole purpose of protecting commerce, protecting us from foreign invaders, which is the exact opposite of what the Biden administration has been doing, and to regulate disputes between the states, to make sure that we don't try to go after a pound of flesh, right? That's it. Other than that, we're supposed to be free, and we're supposed to have unalienable rights. And that's what my channel is all about, is passing on the good news. That's right, man. Right on. Who's this guy? Speed Racer. Yeah, Speed Racer. Love this. Look, Speed Racer just nailed it. By the way, Speed Racer was one of my favorite TV shows growing up. Right there, Speed Racer 057 Mach 5. I think, but did Speed Racer drive the Mach 6? Oh, man, I can't remember. My mind's going. But what Speed Racer is saying, and I just put it up there, God is the chief of the land. Whatever God you believe in, whether you're Lutheran or Catholic, whatever, your Creator is what gave you your rights. That's it. They weren't given you by the state. And unfortunately, the left hates that because they want you to believe that your rights come from government. Because once they come from government, they can be stolen from you. But when they're given to you by a supreme, all-powerful being, no one will ever believe that. And that's another reason why the Marxists or atheists, they want to destroy the concept of God or an all-powerful creator. The World Economic Forum, for example, or Harvard academics, right? They laugh at you because you believe in God. Why do you even elect people like that? Why would you ever vote for a politician who went to Harvard or Yale? I mean, all these people are like atheists. They hate God. They're basically Luciferians, right? Red Shoe Club. I mean, come on, guys. What are you thinking? You should only be putting people into power for a short period of time who support the concept that your rights and liberties come from an all-powerful creator. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. Now let's and then E-Beggar Slut, I think you're probably right. E-Beggar Slut says, I think, hold on, I'm going to read this to you. I feel like this dude will be part of a federal investigation. Well, every time I go to the airport, I always get secondaried, and we have those S's on our tickets because I'm definitely on a watch list, and there's no doubt about it, because if you believe in what our founding fathers believed in, you're considered to be a threat to the administrative state, to the Obama administrative state. But I believe that in the power of prayer, and I believe in the power of creating independent systems where we can work with each other the same way that Martin Luther King did, where we create parallel systems. Remember, Martin Luther King took away a lot of money from shopkeepers and people who discriminated against his people. And everyone on my channel, regardless of your race or your gender, because where there's men and women, by the way, only men and women, anybody who does that is automatically a part of Team MPE. If someone's going against you, you're part of Team MPE. You're part of my team, and my group and my people are going to support you. That's why we create parallel systems. We stop shopping at Target. We stop dealing with BlackRock and all these scumbag billionaires who are trying to come after your little kids, like send them to Epstein Island, for example. And we love one another, and we're courteous, considerate, and kind to others at all times. And that's what we do at Team MPE. So anyways, I had a really great time with you guys tonight. I'm living on fumes right now. I just want to go down the sidebar and thank everyone for showing up and supporting my channel. So again, thank you, Grateful Dabs. Yeah, that's right. There's no such thing as they, them. That's just a way, that's a Maoist, Marxist way to try and destroy our identity, because we're all unique in individuals, and God put us in our bodies for a reason. None of you were born in the wrong body. Any public school teacher who tells you were born in the wrong body is a child abuser. Young people, don't listen to them. They're abusing you because they're brainwashed by the academic industrial complex, where they're teaching people how to be Marxists and hate their country. So Speed Racer, I really appreciate you. Speed Racer 057, Plead the Fifth. Give me a bunch of ones for Team MPE, for all my crew who show up to support my channel, guys. Type them in there. Give me a bunch of them. And Life Under the Microscope, thank you so much for showing up, brother. Plead the Fifth, thank you for your monetary support. Supporting the channel it means a lot to me, big time. Grateful Dabs, as always, thank you for showing up again. What's the matter, you? And then let's see, Danelle Brown, thank God you showed up tonight. You were like a breath of fresh air. It's so awesome. And yeah, and then Brick Jonesy and Chili, man, legit dudes who are just out trying to make America a better place. Westman 78, King Jamie, I appreciate you showing up. And E-Beggar Slut, appreciate you showing up too, even though your comments are a little off the cuff and the name is pretty crazy. And let me see who else we have to thank here. Yeah, I like King Jamie. It reminds me of King James, like, you know, King James Bible. Free Scotland, Jimmy! A lot of you guys probably know that I lived in Scotland. I love Scotland. The Scottish people are brilliant, man. I love my iron brew. I love to drink my iron brew, Jimmy. It's great. And then Age Go, I appreciate you showing up as well. Age Go. Kyle, Kyle, for showing up tonight. My Army Ranger Combat Arms officer in the Army. One of the only officers who's part of Team MPE, actually has a private first class Marine Corps chevron, which I give all my members. So thank you for showing up as well, sir. Freaking and BZ Watchdog, I know you're probably popping in and out because there's so many channels live tonight, but thanks for showing up. My Marine brother, give me a bunch of ones to BZ Watchdog. Make sure to like and subscribe to BZ Watchdog's channel as well, and pray for him. He's going through a lot right now. He needs all the prayer that he can get. Just pray for him that he'll find better opportunities in his life moving forward. And then Danelle Brown, you're a new one, but pretty soon you're going to earn your wrench. PVH, the 350 PVH, thanks for showing. I already said thanks to Grateful Dabs, I think. Westman 78. Ryan Labs, love it that you showed up. Now, Ryan Labs, looks like you're looking for some legal help. You can go to Circle of Legal Trust at yahoo.com. That is an unmonitored email account that I check out every couple of days. If you know, I'll do my best to try to help you find a lawyer to help you. You know, look, I'm busy, guys. I'm a one-man show. I'm a one-man band, but I'll do my best to help you. Just don't get upset at me if it's not like instant gratification. Obviously, I'm going to go for that big car or motorcycle accident case because that's going to pay my bills today. But if you have issues where you guys need help, even if it's just some prayer, you know, I'll try to put together a group to support you. And Classic Blaster Art. I appreciate your comments. April Rain, you rock. April Rain, some of the comments you made tonight blew me away. You are awesome. You're much more of a woman than I ever thought. So that was great seeing some of those comments. And then Mike Drop, Froggy Face, thank you so much for saying my internet is awful, whatever that means. And let me see, who else do I have? Danelle Brown, thank you for the super chats. Man, you guys rock. Oh, man, there's probably a million other people that I need to thank. I try to thank everyone. I try to be as humble as I can and make sure you guys know that you're loved and appreciated. But with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to double tap that screen. Tonight, we picked up about 28,000 views, which is not bad for a Tuesday night. I hope you guys liked the show. If you have any other links or stories you want me to cover throughout the week, please shoot them over and I'll do my best to cover them. I may or may not go live tomorrow night. I'm extremely burned out and I really need to get to the gym. I'm starting to look like a diet private, Kyle. I don't know if you have diet privates in the Army, but that means somebody who's overweight in the Marine Corps. And so I'll do my best. And then Joe Garza, thank you again for showing as well. Ricky Villarreal, thank you again. Thank you for all of my pro natural law viewers. And make sure to all you guys should be liking each other and subscribing to each other's channel and befriending each other. Because if you're part of Team MPE, you're part of an amazing and growing channel that I believe is going to make serious changes for the better in this country, just by teaching you guys about natural law and your unalienable rights. So again, make sure to double tap that screen, make sure to like and subscribe, make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. And with that being said, Semper Fi, do or die.